This is Global News. First, the headlines. Fubara reaffirms commitment to peace, security for all residents. Presidency clarifies UK migration deal covers only illegal Nigerians. Tinubu urges unity, peace as Nigerians celebrate Eid el-Fitr. Adelabu promises improved power supply soon, cites gas constraints. UAE arrests over 100 persons for spreading war misinformation. FIFA fines Israel FA over racism discrimination breaches. Action movie star Chuck Norris dies at 86. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting the lives and property of all residents, including the Muslim community, while promoting peaceful coexistence across the state. The governor made the pledge at Government House, Port Harcourt, during a visit from a delegation of the Muslim Omar, led by Alhaji Nisser Oho, Vice President General of the Rivers State Council for Islamic Affairs. The delegation included Islamic clerics and leaders of the Arewa community who came to pay Salah homage as part of Eid el-Fitr celebrations. Fubara emphasized that anyone living and contributing to the state, regardless of origin or religion, is considered part of Rivers, and assured that government efforts will continue to maintain safety and stability. He commended the Muslim community for their dedication during Ramadan and described the observance as a sacred journey. On security, Fubara noted that Rivers State has maintained relative stability amid national challenges and encouraged Islamic leaders to strengthen internal communication to ensure peaceful conduct within their communities. He also assured that previously submitted requests would be reviewed and addressed within the government's capacity. Rivers State Internal Revenue Service has announced plans to fully digitize tax administration as part of reforms to boost efficiency, transparency, and ease of doing business in the state. The executive chairman of IRS, The executive chairman of RIRS, Israel Ogbunefu, disclosed the initiative during the 2026 RIRS breakfast meeting in collaboration with Business Day in Port Harcourt. The meeting themed innovations, outlook and expectations of RIRS in 2026 in view of the new tax laws brought together policymakers, business leaders and tax experts. Ogbunefu outlined key priorities including digitization of tax processes, elimination of revenue leakages, enhanced transparency, improved taxpayer experience and stronger inter-agency collaboration. He emphasized that the reforms aim to establish a fair, predictable and technology-driven tax system capable of supporting economic growth and boosting public confidence. He added that enforcement would remain a last resort with emphasis on taxpayer awareness and collaboration. Ogbunefu also reiterated the agency's commitment to eliminating multiple taxation, harmonizing revenue procedures, simplifying compliance and strengthening dispute resolution mechanisms to enhance investor confidence. Stakeholders are raising alarms over the growing number of refuse dumps across Port Harcourt, with particular concern about scavengers operating at these sites. Residents, environmentalists and public health experts warn that the city's garden city status is being threatened as uncollected garbage piles up along roads, markets and residential areas. According to our correspondent, Johnson Wali, scavengers increasingly scour dump sites for recyclables both day and night. Their unregulated activities scatter waste across the city, worsening sanitation conditions. Some scavengers, including minors, work without protective gear, putting themselves and nearby residents at serious health risks. Environmental stakeholders point to deeper issues in the waste management system, including irregular collection, poor supervision, and inadequate recycling programs. They suggest integrating scavengers into a regulated framework to reduce waste burdens and improve safety. Public health experts warn that unattended refuse and unregulated scavenging increase the risk of disease outbreaks, attracting flies, rodents, and other vectors. Calls are being made for the Rivers State Waste Management Agency to strengthen collection systems, enforce sanitation laws, and monitor scavenger activities. Residents are also urged to adopt proper waste disposal practices, highlighting that restoring cleanliness will require coordinated government and community action. Operatives of the Akwa Ibom State Police Command have arrested a 70-year-old man, Okon Akpan, and 3 others over alleged attempted murder and court-related activities in Orokanam local government area. The other suspects are John Sampson, 45, I beg your pardon, Emmanuel Asukwo, 50, and Idorenyin Umo, 22. They were apprehended on March 20, 2026 at Ikot Asubong village following credible intelligence. The police recovered 1 locally fabricated pistol and 2 guns from the suspects. The arrest follows a petition concerning attempted murder, malicious damage, and court-related activities. The command said investigations are ongoing to track other members of the suspected gang, and the suspects will be charged to court upon conclusion of inquiries. Commissioner of Police Baba Mohammed Azare urged residents to support law enforcement with timely and credible information to help combat crime while assuring that peace in the area remains under control. Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri called on Muslim faithful to use Eid al-Fitr to foster love, unity, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence. Diri made the appeal on Friday while hosting members of the Muslim community to a Ramadan lunch at the government house in Yenagoa, marking the end of the fasting period. He was represented by Deputy Governor Peter Akwe, who encouraged Muslims to demonstrate compassion, forgiveness, and peaceful conduct, describing these as core teachings of Islam. The governor urged residents to reflect on their roles in sustaining peace, stressing that meaningful development cannot thrive without a peaceful environment. He praised the Muslim community for contributing to Bayelsa's reputation as one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria and called for continued acts of love and harmony. Diri also responded to requests from the community, including provision of a state secretariat and an 18-seater bus, assuring them that the government would consider all the available resources. The governor's special advisor on religious matters, Gospower Asingba, highlighted Ramadan as a period of spiritual renewal, while the acting vice president general of the Bayelsa State Council for Islamic Affairs, Yahaya Oke, expressed gratitude for the successful completion of Ramadan and appealed for rehabilitation of the council's secretariat. Delta State government has condemned reports of women being harassed and sexually assaulted during the Ozoro festival, describing the act as barbaric and unacceptable. In a statement, Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Charles Anyangu, called on security agencies to investigate the incident and ensure those responsible are brought to justice. He assured residents of the government's commitment to protecting the rights and safety of citizens, especially women and vulnerable groups, and urged festival organizers and community leaders to strengthen security measures. The Delta State Police Command confirmed that an investigation has commenced, describing the alleged incident as alarming and unacceptable. The development follows circulation of videos and reports claiming women were assaulted during the traditional festival in Ozoro, sparking widespread outrage and renewed calls for accountability. Authorities have reiterated zero tolerance for gender-based violence, warning that perpetrators will face the full weight of the law. Delta State Police Command has arrested 5 persons, including Delta State Police Command has arrested 5 persons, including the community head and the chief organizer of the Ozoro Festival, over alleged sexual assault on women during the annual event. Police spokesperson Bright Dafe identified the suspects, including Chief Omorede Sunday and 4 others from Oramudu quarters in Ozoro. He ordered that the Commissioner of Police, Aina Adeshala, had ordered their transfer to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation. The arrest followed viral videos showing women allegedly attacked, stripped and molested during the festival. Some reports also suggested possible cases of rape though this remains unconfirmed. Police authorities condemned the incident, stressing that no tradition or custom supersedes the rights and dignity of citizens, and urged witnesses to come forward with useful information. The Delta State government also denounced the acts, describing them as barbaric and reiterating its zero tolerance for gender-based violence. The incident has sparked widespread outrage online, with calls for justice and stronger measures to protect women during cultural events. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has called on the Muslim Ummah to embrace humility, kindness and forgiveness, urging adherence to the lessons of the Holy Quran beyond Ramadan. Deputy Governor Bayo Lawal represented the governor during a Salah homage at the governor's residence, attended by clerics, political office holders and Muslim faithful. The governor's special advisor on media, Sulaiman Olarewaju, confirmed the visit in a statement from Ibadan. Makinde congratulated the faithful on completing Ramadan and the 2026 Eid al-Fitr celebrations, appreciating their support, prayers and commitments to the state. He highlighted that peace and stability in Oyo State have fostered development and harmonious coexistence among residents, and urged continued backing for his administration until the end of his tenure. Special prayers were offered for the governor, his administration, and for peace and progress in the state and nation, with dignitaries including former Deputy Governor and PDP National Secretary Taufik Arapaja, Federal Lawmaker Dikrulahi Olajide, the Secretary to the State Government Musibao Babatunde, commissioners and local government officials also in attendance. Borno State Governor Baba Gana Zulum has assured residents that the worst phase of Boko Haram insurgency is over, even as he sympathized with victims of recent bomb attacks in Maiduguri. The governor gave the assurance during a visit to victims receiving treatment at the Borno State Specialist Hospital and University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, following the deadly explosions that rocked the state's capital. Zulum expressed condolences to families of those who lost their lives and pledged government support for victims undergoing treatment, as well as assistance to bereaved families. He noted that both the state and federal governments were intensifying efforts to restore lasting peace, with funds released to security agencies for clearance operations in insurgent strongholds. The attacks, carried out by suspected suicide bombers using improvised explosive devices, struck multiple locations, including the Monday Market area, post office flyover and the entrance of the teaching hospital, leaving at least 23 people dead and over 40 injured. President Bola Tinubu condemned the incident and directed security chiefs to relocate to Maiduguri to coordinate response efforts. Security agencies have since increased surveillance, deployed explosive disposal units, and set up additional checkpoints across the city to prevent further attacks, while residents have been urged to remain vigilant. Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago has called on Muslim faithful to pray for an end to insecurity in the state and across Nigeria. In his Eid al-Fitr message issued through Chief Press Secretary Bologi Ibrahim, Bago urged prayers for leaders to be granted wisdom to govern justly and foster an egalitarian society. He congratulated the Muslim Ummah on completing the Ramadan fast, highlighting it as a significant spiritual exercise and urging the faithful to practice lessons from the Holy Quran and Hadith. Bago also encouraged residents to use the festival to pray for peace, stability and solutions to security challenges essential for economic growth and development. Meanwhile, the Niger State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria congratulated Muslims and called for continued unity and peaceful coexistence across religious communities. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has announced his intention to run for the Nasarawa North senatorial seat in the 2027 general elections, reversing his earlier pledge not to seek elective office. After completing his tenure, Sule, who is currently serving his second and final term as governor, had previously ruled out any future political ambition during a 2024 television appearance. However, his special assistant on social media, Ango Nagani Emmanuel, recently confirmed that the governor has decided to contest following appeals from political stakeholders and supporters within the ruling party. The push for his candidacy reportedly comes from loyalists, appointees and beneficiaries of his administration who are encouraging him to represent the district at the National Assembly. Born on December 26, 1959, first elected governor in 2019, succeeding former Governor Tanko Al-Makura, who is widely credited with modernizing the state's political landscape. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to uphold unity, peace and the enduring values of Ramadan as Muslim faithful celebrate Eid al-Fitr across the country. The president made the call after observing the Eid prayer at the Dondan Barracks Eid ground, where he joined other worshippers to mark the end of the fasting period. Tinubu expressed gratitude for the successful completion of Ramadan, noting that the holy month instilled values of sacrifice, compassion, discipline and love for humanity. He urged Nigerians to sustain these virtues beyond the season by showing kindness and supporting vulnerable members of society. He also emphasized that national security is a shared responsibility, calling on citizens to remain vigilant and cooperate with security agencies by providing credible information when necessary. Reflecting on his recent visit to the United Kingdom, Tinubu highlighted the importance of religious tolerance and unity across faiths, urging Nigerians to promote peaceful coexistence. The president expressed optimism that collective efforts toward peace, stability and fairness will strengthen national development and improve the lives of citizens. Federal government has clarified that the recently signed migration agreements with the United Kingdom applies only to Nigerians residing illegally in the UK. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Temitope Ajayi, said the clarification followed reports suggesting Nigeria had agreed to accept foreign deportees. He explained that the deal strictly concerns Nigerian citizens without legal status in the UK. Ajayi stressed that Nigeria would not accept non-citizens and that the agreement ensures returnees are treated with dignity, retain their legal rights and may re-enter the UK if they meet immigration requirements. The Ministry of Interior, Nigeria, said the deal provides a framework for the safe return and reintegration of affected individuals, including safeguards for vulnerable persons and identity verification processes. The agreement signed during President Bola Tinubu's state visit to the UK also includes cooperation on migration management, border security, and information sharing between both countries. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joash Amupitan, has urged staff and Nigerians to apply the discipline of Ramadan to advancing electoral integrity. In an Eid al-Fitr message from INEC headquarters, he described the end of the fast as a triumph of the spirit and highlighted its relevance as the Commission prepares for the 2026 off-cycle governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun, as well as the 2027 general election. Amupitan commentator noted that the overlap of Ramadan with the Christian Lenten period underscores the shared responsibility toward Nigeria's democratic process. He encouraged virtues such as patience, integrity, and empathy is essential for the upcoming electoral milestones. Addressing over 14,000 INEC staff nationwide, the chairman emphasized that welfare, professional excellence, and strict adherence to the new Electoral Act 2026, which reinforces the use of technology like the bi-modal voter accreditation system and the INEC results viewing portal IREV. He described the Ekiti and Osun elections as a critical test for these reforms and stressed that a motivated and disciplined workforce is central to safeguarding electoral integrity and rebuilding public trust. Christian Association of Nigeria has called on Nigerians to use the Eid al-Fitr celebrations as a moment for national reflection, unity and collective action in addressing the country's economic and security challenges. In a goodwill message issued in Abuja, CAN President Daniel Oko congratulated Muslims nationwide, highlighted the festival as a period that embodies faith, sacrifice and compassion. He noted that Eid marks not only the end of Ramadan, but also an opportunity for renewed spiritual strength and hope. Oko stressed that Nigeria's progress depends on shared efforts and cooperation across faiths and ethnicities, urging citizens to dialogue, reject division, and act in ways that promote peace and stability. The association highlighted the moral lessons of Ramadan and Eid, including kindness, sacrifice, and care for others, as principles that can guide the country forward. CN also joined Muslims in praise for national healing, calling for improved governance, economic recovery, strengthened security, and leadership guided by wisdom and compassion. And the association encouraged citizens to sustain the virtues cultivated during Ramadan, particularly supporting the vulnerable and promoting justice, describing the occasion as a pivotal moment for national reflection. The message concluded with prayers for peace, good health, and unity across Nigeria, wishing Muslims a joyous Eid al-Fitr and reaffirming the importance of harmonious coexistence among all citizens. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we will continue with the rest of the stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to the rest of our stories. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu has assured that Nigerians will soon experience improved electricity supply as the federal government works to resolve ongoing gas constraints affecting power generation. Adelabu highlighted in his Eid al-Fitr message that recent government interventions are beginning to address persistent gas supply challenges which have limited electricity generation across the country. These measures aim to provide a more reliable and sustainable supply for homes, businesses and industries. The power sector has faced mounting difficulties with gas suppliers halting deliveries to thermal plants over an estimated 3.3 trillion debt owned by power generation companies. This has caused prolonged blackouts with power generation dropping below 4,000 megawatts in recent weeks, according to the Nigerian Independent System Operator. The CEO of the Association of Power Generation Companies, Dr. Joy Ogaji, warned that the debt across the electricity value chain is pushing the sector toward a major crisis. Despite this, Adelabu expressed optimism that the ongoing efforts will lead to a noticeable improvements in the near term. The minister called on Nigerians to remain patient, noting that the current challenges are part of the transition toward a more reliable electricity system. He emphasized that the government's reform agenda across the electricity value chain is designed to unlock efficiency, attract investment, and strengthen service delivery. Russia's central bank has reduced its key interest rate to 15% from 15.5% as the country faces slowing economic growth compounded by the ongoing war in Ukraine and Western sanctions. Massive military spending initially boosted growth after Russia launched its offensive in 2022, helping the economy avoid early predictions of collapse. However, last year's growth slowed to just 1%, down from around 4% in 2023 to 2024. Consumer demand has cooled following a sharp rise in late 2025. Inflation currently stands at 5.9%, above the central bank's 4% target. Previous military-related expenditures had driven inflation higher, prompting borrowing costs to exceed 20% at their peak, which strained businesses, led to closures of smaller firms, and forced some larger companies to announce layoffs or seek state support. Despite financial pressures, surging oil prices following the US and Israel strikes on Iran have provided a boost. Brent crude has been trading above $100 per barrel. Oil and gas revenue accounts for roughly a fifth of state income and had previously been at a five-year low due to sanctions, production challenges, and Ukrainian attacks on energy facilities. The rate cut reflects efforts to balance supporting economic growth with containing inflation amid ongoing geopolitical and domestic pressures. And now to our international news. Police in Abu Dhabi have arrested more than 100 people for filming and sharing misinformation related to the ongoing Middle East conflict. Authorities said 109 individuals of various nationalities were detained for recording sensitive sites and circulating misleading content on social media. Actions considered capable of inciting panic and spreading rumors. The crackdown follows directives from the UAE's Attorney General, who has also ordered the arrest of dozens of others for publishing false information, sharing footage of incidents, or promoting hostile narratives during the conflict. Similar enforcement measures have been reported in Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait, where authorities are tightening controls on war-related content online. The actions come amid escalating tensions in the region following strikes involving Iran, the United States, and Israel, with Gulf states increasingly affected by the fallout. Norway's crown princess, Mette Marit, said she was manipulated by convicted U.S. sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in an interview broadcast Friday in which she sought to explain their close relationship. Her name appeared multiple times in documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice, revealing previously undisclosed closeness between the two and sparkling public debate in Norway. Mette Marit insisted the relationship was purely friendly and denied any inappropriate involvement though she described her past correspondence with Easton as embarrassing. The revelations have raised questions about her future role in the monarchy, even as she reaffirmed her commitment to supporting her husband, Hakan. She emphasized that the focus should remain on justice for Easton's victims, stating they are the ones who truly deserve attention and accountability. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum condemned the deaths of 3 Mexican nationals who died while in the custody of U.S. immigration authorities this year. The incidents include the death of a 19-year-old at Glades County Detention Center in Florida and 2 others earlier in California and Georgia. The Mexican government described the death as unacceptable and pledged to U.S. legal and diplomatic channels to defend the rights of Mexicans abroad. Officials emphasized that families of the deceased would receive full support. Roya Perez Jimenez, the 19-year-old in Florida, was reported dead with the cause listed as presumed suicide, though investigations remain ongoing. The other 2 deaths involved a 48-year-old man in California in March and a 34-year-old in Georgia in January. Reports indicate that at least 30 migrants died in U.S. detention centers last year. I told you to FIFA has fined the Israeli Football Association 150,000 Swiss francs for multiple breaches of its anti-discrimination obligations. The sanction followed findings by FIFA's disciplinary committee that the FIFA failed to take meaningful action against Beta Jerusalem over persistent racist behavior by its supporters. The investigation, launched after complaints by the Palestine Football Association, revealed repeated incidents of ethnic slurs and discriminatory conduct, which FIFA described as systemic and damaging to the sport's integrity. FIFA noted that sanctions imposed by the IFA on offending clubs were inadequate and criticized the association for failing to promote anti-discrimination campaigns or publicly condemn racism. As part of the ruling, the IFA must display anti-discrimination messages at upcoming matches and invest part of the fine into programs aimed at preventing future incidents. The IFA, however, insisted it has taken steps to tackle racism, though many measures were not made public. Into our entertainment news. Chuck Norris, the American martial artist and Hollywood action star best known for his role in Walker, Texas Ranger, has died at the age of 86, his family confirmed. Norris reportedly fell ill on Thursday on the Hawaiian island of Kauai shortly after celebrating his 86th birthday. The previous week, with a social media post showing him boxing, he began his acting career in 1968 with a cameo in Don Martin's film, The Wrecking Crew. His iconic fight scene with Kung Fu star Bruce Lee in the 1972 film The Way of the Dragon helped establish him as a global action star, a status he maintained through numerous films and television appearances over the decades. Throughout his career, Norris was celebrated for his martial arts expertise, discipline and dedication, inspiring millions of fans worldwide. Toyin Abraham has been honored by the National Film and Video Censors Board with a recognition award for her outstanding box office achievement. The actress and filmmaker received the award after her film Obasambi Auntie grossed over 1 billion naira, making her the first solo director to achieve such a feat with a debut project. Sharing the moment on X, Abraham described the recognition as a major milestone and a deeply cherished honor from a reputable institution. The event was also attended by Temitope Enitan, Ogunwusi, who commended the impact of the film, particularly its message on parenting and family values. Abraham noted that Obasabi Auntie goes beyond entertainment, serving as a wake-up call for parents, especially mothers, on more thoughtful approaches to raising children. The film has since crossed the 1 billion naira mark, ranking among the highest-grossing Nollywood productions of all time. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major headlines. Fubara reaffirms commitment to peace, security for all residents. Presidency clarifies UK migration deal, covers only illegal Nigerians. Tinubu urges unity, peace as Nigerians celebrate Eid al-Fitr. Adelabo promises improved power supply soon, cites gas constraints. UAE arrests over 100 persons for spreading war misinformation. FIFA finds Israel FA over racism, discrimination and breaches. Action movie star Chuck Norris dies at 86. I am Francis Neka. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms on X, formerly Twitter, at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.